What's up, everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Welcome to my daily 10 a.m. video. First things first, my 46,000 subscriber silver giveaway is open. The entry video is live, so if you want a chance to win some free silver, make sure you go over to that video, make sure you're subscribed, and make sure you enter. You do not want to miss that. That's not all. I'm picking 2 winners for that giveaway, but also 2 winners for the next several giveaways. Every 1,000 subscribers to 50K, I'm doing giveaways. So tons of winners are going to be winning tons of silver. You do not want to miss that. So make sure you're subscribed. Now, this article is very interesting, to say the least. It's talking about the silver to oil price correlation. So it's saying, if you want to know where silver prices are heading next, just take a look at oil. And we've never really talked about this idea on this channel, and it could give us some great insight. So I did some digging. There's a couple of different articles into this. This first article is what sparked this video idea. The link to these 2 articles will be in the description. Let's look at what they're talking about. So, often overlooked in favor of its precious metal cousin, gold, silver prices have tallied up an impressive gain over the past year. Silver prices are currently trading close to $26 an ounce. That's a stunning gain of 79% from a year ago, when spot price was around $14.50 an ounce. A lot of people forget that. A lot of people forget that for the last 10 years, the average silver price was $15. So as the global economy reopens and the green energy infrastructure spending booms gather space, silver's bullish trajectory shows no signs of slowing down anytime soon. And I can't see it slowing down, not just soon, but not later either. If you want to know where silver prices are heading next, then just take a look at the bullish trend in oil prices. This week, Brent crude prices surged to a 6.5-year high, while WTI crude oil hit 3-year highs. Higher oil prices usually feed into inflation expectations and boost demand for assets with inflation hedging capabilities, such as precious metals. Oil's current inflationary rally provides bullish tailwinds for all commodities, especially inflation hedges like silver. So historical trends from the past 2 decades show a correlation between higher oil and metals prices. In fact, there are 10 historical instances since 2001 when oil has ripped higher by more than 50% in 6 months. As a result, precious metals have often followed the large rally in oil with a closely matched increase. That's interesting, and it's even more interesting that nobody talks about this. I don't think I've covered this much on my channel. I cover several articles on a daily basis, and this is one of the few times that I've heard oil being mentioned with silver prices, or why we need to take a look at both of these. Right now, silver is relatively cheap compared with its peers and certainly has a lot of catching up to do. In my opinion, silver is definitely the one to watch in the 3rd quarter of 2021. And that's interesting because the 3rd quarter and the 4th quarter, there's going to be a lot happening. There's going to be a lot happening, to say the least. Plus, we have the holidays, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, the new pandas come out, and plus the forced stimulus, and there's just a lot of things that are coming up that are extremely bullish for silver. And I say silver, not gold, because the industrial sector is where silver separates itself from gold, why it has a life of its own, why my name is Silver Slayer, not Gold Slayer. So where are the prices heading next? So this is the commodity report. This is their YouTube video. I never really show videos on this channel, but I do want to hear what they're talking about, especially since it's a price forecast. So let's check this out. So before we start this video, I do want to say something real quick. He's about to go over week by week all of the events that are happening and why it's extremely bullish for silver. I mean, listen to this.
So with that, these are the key news items that I would pay attention to throughout the rest of this month and into August as well. Next week, we have CPI data. So of course, all traders will be watching that again for a gauge of inflation, which is currently running hot right now. We've seen many commodities break out to all-time highs over the last quarter, which included copper and palladium prices. Gold and silver last month broke out also to 5-month highs. So with that, it will be a key news item next week, the CPI data. The week after that, we have the European Central Bank announcement on the Thursday, with also Christine Lagarde talking afterwards. So of course, we want to review that in terms of any changes to monetary policy. Then the following week after that, we have the FOMC statement. This potentially could be a huge market moving event. That's going to be on the last Wednesday of July. This again can cause huge moves, given that on the last FOMC statement, the Federal Reserve came out with new information that they were looking to hike interest rates twice in 2023. So with that, markets immediately reacted to that. The dollar broke out to 2-month highs, and it created a great opportunity to buy into commodities on the sell-off. And then what you want to look out for as we go into August is the Jackson Hole Symposium. This again is a chance for the Federal Reserve to realign their monetary policy moving forward and provide forward guidance for the rest of the year.
So as he was saying, there are several events over the next several weeks that are going to affect precious metals prices dramatically. Basel III pushing gold and silver from a tier 3 to a tier 1. We have the FOMC, which obviously affects the price of precious metals drastically and instantly, right? Last time we had Federal Chairman Jerome Powell mention a lot of things, expose a lot of things, even from other people through that, where he was kind of saying, hold up, let's slow down, let's be realistic. But regardless, there's a lot happening, right? So anyways, let's go into this crude oil versus gold, silver, and copper. So crude oil was being pulled up by gold and silver traders the latter part of last week based upon sentiment as the governments are printing more money, right? It says it right there, right? When crude oil is up, gold and silver is going to be up as well. So the only defense against these monetary policies is to buy hard assets in terms of commodities. However, there are a couple of differences worth noting between the commodities, which will ultimately cause certain commodities to diverge more aggressively in the future. And when we're talking about certain commodities diverging in the future, gold and silver, I think, is going to be the biggest split. Silver is definitely going to take on a life of its own. It's just when. And I think we're already starting to see that happen, because when the U.S. Mint admits there's a silver shortage, they're not talking about gold. They're talking about silver. When we're looking at silver scarcity, it's silver scarcity, right? When the industrial sector is going to need more and more and more silver, they're not talking about gold, they're talking about silver. Low supply, high demand shoots the price up. That's investing 101. When you have all these people talking about silver being extremely bullish by the end of 2021, they're not talking about gold, they're talking about silver. See, a lot of times people enter the precious metals world thinking that gold is the best investment because that's what they were taught, right? Banks and everyone is going to talk about gold. But I mean, rightfully so, gold is a very stable, safe haven investment, even more so than silver. Silver is riskier. It's more dramatic. It's like gold on steroids. It really is. But at the end of the day, whether you're investing in a gold or silver, it's a safe haven. Silver may be riskier, but I just see that as more opportunity. Now take a look at this part of the article. So they're talking about copper and crude and industrial commodities. The industrial demand for copper and especially oil are affected much more by price, which leads to demand destruction as prices rise, in comparison to gold and silver, which currently are fueled more by speculative investor dynamics as opposed to strong industrial demand. And that is scary right now, at least, because you guys know, I've said time and time again, I hate that S word, which is speculation. There is no room for speculation in gold and silver while it is a physical metal. It should be supply and demand like copper and oil. But we have a single tweet from somebody that could push prices dramatically up or down. Speculation, even when the FOMC said that stuff, which was kind of like a false flag, people really didn't understand what they meant, or even with the U.S. Mint. There's no place for that. But that is currently, and it makes sense, their tensions are high. the last couple of years have been crazy. Emotional attachment, a lot of fear, uncertainty, doubt. But in other words, as prices in gold and silver rise, India may reduce their consumer buying of gold, but this isn't going to be a dominant driver of price if speculative investors really think central banks will print money Zimbabwe style. And if you guys know about Zimbabwe, they have like the $1 trillion bill. Zimbabwe, their money is so deflated. They carry their money in trash bags. They weigh their money on scales because their dollars are so worthless, you can't count them out, right? You literally have to weigh it on scales because the time it would take to count out all those dollar bills would take forever. It's kind of like the US dollar having the purchasing power of like 5 cents. So if you want to buy something that's like $10, $15, you have to hand over hundreds, if not thousands of bills. And Zimbabwe has the same fiat system. It's just going to take longer for the United States because we have more gold. But as the dollar is depreciating in purchasing power, it's all gonna lead to the same place. So, anyways, this article is interesting, and I do think the first article is extremely interesting as well, especially the video, because he does explain a lot of how things are, or where things are heading, and how silver is going to come out on top regardless, right? Whether situation A, B, C, or D happens, I only see silver coming out on top, and I can't say that about stocks or anything else. So 6 degrees of separation, crude versus gold and silver. This is what separates crude oil from gold and silver. And although copper has some characteristics similar to crude from an industrial demand standpoint, it really is not even close. So once the industrial and consumer demand slows more than the available supply that is hitting the oil market each day, the surpluses start to build and storage capacity starts to fill rather rapidly. After 6 months' time, the fundamentals can no longer be ignored. If supply is still more than the demand each day and existing storage capacity is reached, then it doesn't matter how much the dollar is being devalued due to loose monetary policies of Federal Reserve. The fact remains prices have to come down. So it is interesting, especially since there is the dollar index has a direct correlation to gold and silver prices, but also supply and demand as the main fundamentals as well that affect silver prices. So what has the greater pull, right? Which is the most effective or has the biggest effect on prices? And what if they don't, or what if they aren't in line with each other? Right now, what affected the price of silver back in the day is dramatically different than today. And I even had that same conversation with the owner of my local coin shop, right? He was even saying how you stack back in the day, your strategy back in the day wouldn't work in today's time. And our strategy today isn't going to work in the future. So we have to keep adjusting and adapting. And that's also why you need to be updated on a daily basis of what's affecting the prices and what you should do about it. But anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. The 2 links to these articles will be in the description. Remember, I'm doing my 46K giveaway. Go enter that video. You do not want to miss it. Trust me. 2 winners, so your chances are doubled. Make sure you like this video, comment down below. It helps the video grow. Thanks for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.